So 1D&D. 1D&D has tried to introduce the idea and its playtest material that rolling a 20 on a 20-sided dice is a success, automatic success. So that rolling a 20 on a 20-sided dice is an automatic success for an ability check, a skill check, an attack roll, and a saving throw. And in the past, it's only been an attack roll. Again, it's tradition. It hasn't worked that way because that's traditionally what we've done. Again, I will say, I think it's simple. I think it's an elegant mechanical adjustment. And in my opinion, I'm glad they've done it, because for the same reasons we used to get into arguments about, well, if I roll a 20, I should be able to succeed. Right? Has anybody had a situation occur when you have allowed a player to make a dice roll and their modifier was so bad that even if they rolled a 20 on that dice, they could not possibly succeed because the actual DC for success was 25 or 30 or some number that was out of their reach because they either had a negative modifier or they only were adding like a 1 or 2. Right? Has it happened to you? I know it's happened to me more than once. And you run into this, I've rolled a 20, okay, but I still do not succeed. And you can see their face just change. This is sort of a product, not necessarily a fault of a dungeon master, because you won't necessarily know what the modifier of your characters are to know whether they can actually succeed or fail before asking for that check. So sometimes it's just a legitimate confusion. Like, I did not realize you only had a +1 or +2, and yet the DC is at 25, so you can't succeed under the current rules. Now you need to start thinking to yourself, well, here's the problem, Fred. If we have a D20 be an automatic success on a 20-sided dice roll, no matter what it is, what does that mean? Does it actually mean that players have their character perform ridiculous and impossible tasks? No. No, it doesn't. No. Why? Because we, 1, are going to stay within the 5 to 30 range, and 2, we probably need to make sure that if a player can't succeed on something, that we never actually have them roll. Like, if you can't succeed on a task, no matter what the modifier is that the player has, then you can't succeed because you won't roll the dice. It's really simple. Dungeon masters already have to contend with players wanting to perform ridiculous tasks and actions using the 5e rules or 5.5 rules. Okay, it already exists. It already happens. It happens to me. I've seen it happen to other people. It's not like it's a new thing. So by making the 20 an automatic success hasn't actually changed much of that at all. It's really now down to a dungeon master having to take control of when you roll the dice, when it's appropriate, when it's not, and using the guidance and parameters that a 5 and a 30 is the range that we work with. Okay? And even if you can't get a 30, the 20 represents the unlikely possibility that you may still succeed. Okay? You still might succeed, but then again, as a dungeon master, you can control that aspect by simply not allowing a dice roll. So it's not really going to change everything, but it certainly makes the whole rule system super simple to understand.